Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a point when you have to stop being soft to everyone around you. Let me tell you something I've learned: kindness does not mean being a doormat. It doesn't mean bending over backwards for people who don't give the same back to you. And it certainly doesn't mean neglecting yourself. We are conditioned to believe that being nice is the ultimate virtue, but there's a difference between being nice and being soft. Softness allows people to take advantage of you, to cross your boundaries, and to drain your energy. And before you know it, you're left wondering why you feel exhausted, frustrated, and unappreciated. You've got to set boundaries, healthy, firm boundaries that say, I respect myself enough to not overextend. It's not about being mean. It's about valuing your time, your energy, and your peace. When you're too soft, people will think they can always come to you for more. They'll expect you to fix their problems, to put their needs ahead of your own. And that's not love. That's not respect. Setting boundaries is one of the most important acts of self-care you can practice in your life. Setting boundaries is about defining what is acceptable to you and what isn't, and having the courage to communicate that clearly to others. Boundaries serve as invisible lines that protect your emotional, mental, and physical well-being. They are the limits you set for how you allow others to treat you, how much time and energy you're willing to give, and how far you're willing to go in any relationship or situation. The first step in setting boundaries is self-awareness. You need to be in tune with yourself, your feelings, your energy levels, your needs. This requires understanding what makes you feel uncomfortable or overwhelmed, as well as recognizing what situations or behaviors drain you. Many of us feel the pressure to be agreeable, helpful, and accommodating, but constantly bending to others' needs often comes at a high personal cost. When you're always available for others, you may end up feeling exhausted, unappreciated, or even resentful. Without boundaries, you are like an open door, inviting others to walk in and take whatever they need from you. This might not seem like a big issue at first. You may feel that being generous with your time or energy is a way to show love and support. But when there are no limits to that generosity, it becomes easy for people to overstep. You may find yourself doing things you don't want to do, agreeing to things you don't have the time for, or sacrificing your own happiness to please others. Eventually, this can lead to burnout and frustration. Boundaries are not about shutting people out or being harsh. In fact, setting boundaries can create deeper, more meaningful connections because they are rooted in honesty and mutual respect. Uh, when you communicate your limits clearly, it helps others understand what you need to feel safe and respected. For example, if a friend constantly calls you during your work hours, setting a boundary could mean letting them know you're unavailable during that time, and we'll get back to them later. This isn't about being cold or distant. It's about protecting your time and energy so you can show up fully in both your professional and personal life. It's important to understand that boundaries aren't about controlling others, they're about controlling how you respond to others. You can't change other people's behaviors, but you can change how you react to those behaviors and what you allow. For example, if someone continually violates your boundaries, you have the right to step back from that relationship. You're not punishing them, you're protecting yourself. It's crucial to recognize that people who respect you will honor your boundaries, while those who don't might resist or push back. Their reaction is not a reflection of you, but of their own inability to respect limits. Sometimes setting boundaries involves saying no. This can be especially difficult if you're used to being a people pleaser, or if you've been taught that being kind means always saying yes, but no is a complete sentence. You don't have to justify your boundaries or explain yourself beyond what feels comfortable. Saying no to things that drain you means saying yes to things that nourish you. When you practice this, you create space for the things that truly matter to you, whether that's your own self-care, your goals, or your well-being. Boundaries also help you protect your emotional health. If someone is constantly bringing negativity into your life, whether it's through criticism, gossip, or emotional manipulation, setting a boundary might mean limiting your interactions with that person. You are not responsible for other people's emotions, nor are you required to absorb their negativity. Your mental and emotional health should always be a priority, and boundaries help ensure that you don't allow others to compromise that. It's also important to be consistent with your boundaries. It's one thing to set them, but it's another to enforce them. People will test your limits, sometimes unknowingly and sometimes deliberately. When this happens, it's essential to hold firm and remind them of your boundary. Consistency sends the message that you take your boundaries seriously and that you expect others to do the same. If you constantly let small violations slide, it can lead to bigger issues down the line. And before you know it, you'll be right back where you started, feeling overwhelmed and taken for granted. One of the hardest parts about setting boundaries is the guilt that often comes with it. We've been conditioned to believe that being accommodating, always available, and never saying no is the key to maintaining good relationships. But the truth is, healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, not on one person sacrificing themselves for the sake of others. Boundaries aren't selfish, they are a necessary act of self respect. And the people who truly care about you will not only respect your boundaries, but also appreciate them because they allow you to be your best self in the relationship. Over time, as you get more comfortable setting boundaries, you'll notice a shift in your life. Your relationships will become more balanced, and you'll feel more in control of your time and energy. You'll no longer feel the need to overextend yourself or compromise your well being to meet others' expectations. Instead, you'll have a greater sense of peace, knowing that you've created a space in your life where your needs are honored and respected. Setting boundaries is an act of love for yourself and for others. When you take care of yourself by setting limits, you show others how to take care of you too. It's a way of saying, I matter, my needs matter, and I deserve to be treated with respect. Self worth is the intrinsic belief in your own value and importance as a person, independent of external factors like achievements, social status, or the opinions of others. It is a deep rooted sense of knowing that at your core, you are deserving of love, respect, and care simply because you exist. Self worth is not something that fluctuates based on circumstances. It is a stable foundation that guides how you think about yourself, how you engage with the world, and how you allow others to treat you. Understanding and cultivating self worth begins with recognizing that your value is inherent. You don't have to earn your worth through accomplishments, wealth, appearance, or relationships. It's not dependent on how many people like you, how successful you are, or how much you've achieved in life. Your worth exists because you exist. This belief allows you to detach from the constant need for validation and approval from others, which is often an exhausting and never ending pursuit. When you anchor your sense of self worth internally, you can navigate life with a sense of peace and confidence that comes from within, rather than being swayed by the ups and downs of external validation. Self worth directly impacts how you treat yourself and how you allow others to treat you. When you have a strong sense of self worth, you naturally set higher standards for yourself and your relationships. You recognize that you deserve to be treated with kindness, respect, and dignity, and you're less likely to tolerate behavior that undermines your well being. This doesn't mean you expect perfection from yourself or others, but it does mean you have a baseline of respect that you're not willing to compromise. For instance, in relationships, self worth allows you to demand reciprocity, where both parties contribute equally and you're not constantly giving more than you receive. You understand that love and care should flow both ways, and you won't settle for one sided dynamics where your needs are consistently overlooked. When your self worth is low, it becomes easy to fall into patterns of overgiving, people pleasing, or self sacrifice, hoping that by doing more for others, you will somehow prove your value. You may find yourself constantly bending over backwards to meet others' expectations or to earn their approval, but this is a losing game. The more you give from a place of low self worth, the more depleted and resentful you become because no amount of external validation can fill the void that exists when you don't recognize your own value. This creates a vicious cycle where you continue to give and give only to feel more exhausted and unappreciated. Because deep down, you don't believe you are worthy of receiving love and care without having to earn it. In contrast, when you have a healthy sense of self worth, you understand that your value doesn't come from how much you do for others or how much you achieve. It comes from knowing who you are and being comfortable with that. This doesn't mean you don't care about growth or improvement, but it means you're not constantly trying to prove yourself. You're not looking for others to validate your existence because you already know your worth. This inner confidence allows you to show up authentically in the world. You don't have to pretend to be someone you're not, and you don't have to constantly seek approval to feel good about yourself. Another key aspect of self worth is that it shapes the decisions you make in life. People with a strong sense of self worth are more likely to pursue their goals and dreams because they believe they deserve success and happiness. They're not afraid to take risks or step out of their comfort zones because they trust in their abilities and resilience. They also have the courage to walk away from situations, jobs, or relationships that no longer serve them, knowing that their worth isn't tied to staying in places where they're not valued. This doesn't mean they don't face challenges or setbacks, but when they do, they don't see these as reflections of their value. Instead, they view them as opportunities to learn and grow, confident in the knowledge that their worth remains intact. For those with low self worth, the decisions they make may be based on fear, insecurity, or the need for external validation. They may stay in toxic relationships or unfulfilling jobs because they don't believe they deserve better. They might avoid pursuing their dreams because they fear failure or rejection, mistakenly thinking that these experiences would confirm their lack of worth. This fear based approach to life often leads to a sense of stagnation and frustration because deep down, they are holding themselves back from the things that could bring them true fulfillment and happiness. Self worth is also intricately linked to how we talk to ourselves. The internal dialogue we have with ourselves can either uplift us or tear us down. People with a healthy sense of self worth engage in positive self talk. They're not immune to self doubt, but they know how to counter those negative thoughts with affirmations of their value. For example, when faced with a challenge, someone with strong self worth might say, I can handle this, or I am capable of figuring this out. They focus on their strengths and abilities rather than dwelling on their perceived shortcomings. On the other hand, low self worth often manifests as harsh self criticism. You might constantly tell yourself you're not good enough, that you don't deserve success, or that you're unworthy of love. This negative self talk reinforces feelings of inadequacy and perpetuates a cycle of low self esteem. It's as if you're constantly undermining yourself, making it difficult to believe in your worth. Over time, this can lead to anxiety, depression, or a deep sense of dissatisfaction with life. The key to breaking this cycle is recognizing that you are not your thoughts. Just because you think you're unworthy doesn't make it true. Self worth is about challenging those limiting beliefs and choosing to speak to yourself with kindness, understanding, and compassion. Cultivating self worth is a process that requires time, patience, and self reflection. It often involves looking back at past experiences or beliefs that may have shaped how you view yourself and consciously deciding to let go of the need for external validation. It's about unlearning the idea that your worth is tied to what you can do for others or what you can achieve. Instead, it's about coming home to the truth that your worth is already inside of you. You don't need to earn it, prove it, or justify it. It's there because you are here. A powerful way to build self worth is through self compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend or loved one. When you make mistakes, instead of beating yourself up, remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes and that they don't define your worth. When you experience failure or rejection, instead of seeing it as a reflection of your value, recognize it as part of the learning process. Practice speaking to yourself with love, respect, and gentleness, and over time, this will strengthen your sense of self worth. Another essential component of self worth is recognizing that you deserve to prioritize your own needs and well being. This might mean setting boundaries with others, saying no to things that drain your energy, or taking time for yourself to rest and recharge. When you have a strong sense of self worth, you don't feel guilty for taking care of yourself because you know that you matter. You understand that you can't pour from an empty cup, and you make choices that honor your health and happiness. Self worth is about understanding that you are enough just as you are. You don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to meet anyone else's expectations to be worthy of love, respect, and kindness. Your worth is not something that can be taken away or diminished by external circumstances. It is a constant, unshakable truth that you carry within you. And the more you nurture it, the more empowered, confident, and fulfilled you will become in all areas of your life. Tough love is the practice of showing care, support, and concern for someone through a firm, sometimes harsh approach that may feel uncomfortable or even painful in the short term, but is intended to promote long term growth, accountability, and personal responsibility. It is rooted in the idea that true love and care for someone do not always come in the form of comfort, indulgence, or protection from life's difficulties. Instead, tough love recognizes that sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do is to confront harmful behaviors, set clear boundaries, and allow the person to face the natural consequences of their actions. Tough love is about fostering growth through discipline, responsibility, and self awareness. This type of love is not about cruelty, punishment, or controlling someone's choices, but about guiding them toward healthier and more constructive behaviors. Tough love comes into play in situations where a person might be engaging in self destructive habits, toxic relationships, or poor decision making, and the people who care about them recognize that intervention is necessary. Rather than enabling harmful behavior or turning a blind eye out of fear of confrontation, tough love requires taking a stand for the person's well being, even if it means temporarily straining the relationship. One of the key aspects of tough love is setting firm and clear boundaries. This involves defining what behaviors are acceptable and what are not, and holding the person accountable when they cross those boundaries. For example, a parent might impose strict consequences if their child repeatedly disrespects house rules, or a friend might distance themselves from someone who consistently engages in unhealthy or damaging behaviors. While it may be tempting to overlook these issues or offer constant forgiveness in the name of love, tough love insists that without consequences, there is no real learning or growth. When people are allowed to continue harmful behaviors without facing the repercussions, they are often trapped in a cycle of self sabotage, unable to break free from patterns that are detrimental to their well being. Tough love requires a balance between compassion and firmness. It means being honest even when the truth is difficult to hear, and standing firm in your decisions even when it creates temporary discomfort or conflict. For instance, a loved one who is struggling with addiction might need to be confronted about the impact of their behavior on themselves and those around them. This could involve an intervention, setting strict boundaries, or even cutting off financial support, knowing that enabling their behavior would only contribute to their downward spiral. Though these actions may feel harsh or unkind in the moment, they are motivated by a desire to see the person break free from destructive habits and take control of their life. In relationships, tough love often means not allowing yourself to be manipulated or taken advantage of. It is easy to fall into patterns of giving too much, sacrificing your own well being, or excusing someone's behavior because you care deeply for them. But tough love requires recognizing that true care sometimes means standing up for yourself and demanding respect. In situations where someone repeatedly mistreats you, refuses to take responsibility, or continues to engage in harmful actions, tough love means saying, enough is enough. This might mean walking away from the relationship or setting non negotiable terms for how the relationship will proceed, with the understanding that your love for them is real, but it does not mean you will tolerate being treated poorly. Tough love can also involve having difficult conversations. It's about being willing to tell someone the hard truth, even when it's uncomfortable or when you fear it might hurt their feelings. For example, a close friend might be in a relationship that is toxic or harmful, but instead of staying silent out of fear of upsetting them, tough love would require you to express your concerns honestly. You might have to say something like, I care about you too much to watch you go through this, and I think you deserve better. These conversations are not easy, and they may lead to temporary strain in the relationship, but they are necessary for the person's growth and well being. By addressing the issue directly, you are giving them the opportunity to reflect on their choices and consider making a change, even if it's uncomfortable for both of you in the short term. It's important to understand that tough love is not about being harsh for the sake of being harsh. It's not about punishing someone or making them feel bad, but about holding them accountable to higher standards of behavior and decision making. It involves love, care, and empathy, but it also involves firmness and boundaries. In this way, tough love helps people understand that while they are loved, they are also responsible for their actions and the consequences that follow. This type of love doesn't coddle or excuse bad behavior, but rather encourages personal responsibility and growth by allowing people to face the realities of their choices. Another key aspect of tough love is recognizing when to step back and allow someone to experience the natural consequences of their actions. This can be particularly difficult when it involves someone you deeply care about. Whether it's a child, a partner, a sibling, or a close friend, the instinct is often to shield them from pain or hardship. But tough love requires letting them face those challenges, even if it means watching them struggle or fail. For example, if someone repeatedly makes poor financial decisions, tough love might mean refusing to bail them out every time they get into trouble. It might feel heartless to withhold help, but by doing so, you are allowing them to learn the hard but necessary lesson that they are responsible for managing their finances. The philosophy behind tough love is that true growth and transformation come from facing difficulties, not avoiding them. People who are constantly shielded from the consequences of their actions never develop the resilience or self awareness needed to change. By stepping in and rescuing someone from every bad decision, you may feel like you are helping them, but in reality, you are enabling their behavior and preventing them from learning the important life lessons that will help them become stronger and more capable individuals. One of the most challenging aspects of tough love is dealing with the emotional fallout. When you enforce tough love, the person on the receiving end might feel hurt, resentful, or even angry. They may accuse you of not caring about them or of being too harsh, which can be painful to hear, especially if your actions come from a place of deep love and concern. However, it's important to remember that their initial reaction doesn't define the validity or necessity of your approach. Tough love is not about immediate gratification or making someone feel good in the moment. It's about long term change and growth. Over time, many people who experience tough love come to appreciate the boundaries and guidance that were set for them, realizing that it was a necessary wake up call for them to take control of their lives. It's also worth noting that tough love requires a great deal of emotional strength from the person delivering it. It's not easy to watch someone struggle or to risk damaging a relationship, but tough love involves making difficult decisions in the name of the other person's best interests. It means enduring temporary discomfort or conflict with the understanding that in the long run, these actions will contribute to the person's growth and well being. For tough love to be effective, it must be consistent. You cannot set boundaries or impose consequences only to waver or back down when the person pushes back. Tough love requires follow through. If you set a boundary and someone crosses it, there must be a consequence, and you must be willing to enforce it. Otherwise, the message you're sending is that your boundaries don't matter and that the person can continue with their behavior without real consequences. Consistency is what ultimately teaches the person that their actions have real, tangible outcomes, and it's what helps them develop the self discipline and responsibility they need to thrive. Tough love is often misunderstood as being unkind or uncaring, But the reality is that it is one of the most powerful forms of love because it is grounded in a deep desire to see someone grow, improve, and succeed. It requires courage, patience, and emotional resilience from both parties, but when done with genuine care and concern, it can lead to profound personal transformation. The short-term discomfort of tough love is outweighed by the long-term benefits of helping someone take responsibility for their life and develop the skills, awareness, and strength needed to overcome challenges and thrive. Emotional resilience is the ability to adapt to stressful or challenging situations, manage emotional responses, and bounce back from adversity. It is the inner strength that helps individuals maintain stability and cope with life's difficulties without being overwhelmed. Emotional resilience doesn't mean avoiding or suppressing emotions, but rather it refers to the capacity to experience a full range of emotions, process them in a healthy way, and move forward even in the face of significant stress or setbacks. Uh, The foundation of emotional resilience lies in self awareness. People who are emotionally resilient have a deep understanding of their emotional triggers, strengths, and vulnerabilities. They are aware of what stresses them out or causes them distress, and they can recognize their emotional responses in real time. This self awareness allows them to take a step back and observe their feelings without being consumed by them. Instead of immediately reacting to situations out of anger, fear, or frustration, they can process their emotions and choose a more thoughtful, measured response. This control over emotions allows for more effective problem solving and decision making, even under pressure. Resilient individuals also develop a mindset that embraces challenges rather than fearing them. Instead of viewing difficulties as insurmountable obstacles, they see them as opportunities for growth and learning. They understand that life is filled with ups and downs, and they don't expect things to always go smoothly. This realistic view of life helps them to remain grounded when things don't go according to plan. They don't fall apart when faced with hardship because they have already accepted that adversity is a natural part of life and they are mentally prepared to navigate it. This mindset prevents them from being immobilized by fear or despair, allowing them to take action even in tough situations. An important aspect of emotional resilience is the ability to regulate one's emotions. This involves managing intense emotions like anger, anxiety, or sadness in a way that doesn't lead to destructive behavior or harm. Resilient people experience these emotions just like everyone else, but they have developed tools and strategies to manage them constructively. They might use deep breathing, meditation, or physical activity to calm themselves down, or they may seek support from friends, family, or a therapist to process their emotions. The key is that they don't let these feelings spiral out of control or dictate their actions. By keeping their emotions in check, they can stay focused on finding solutions rather than getting stuck in negative feelings. Resilience also involves adaptability. Emotionally resilient people are flexible in their thinking and behavior. When faced with change or uncertainty, they are able to adjust their expectations and approaches rather than rigidly clinging to what was or what they think should be. This flexibility allows them to navigate new situations and challenges more effectively. Instead of resisting change, they find ways to adapt and thrive in their new circumstances. This adaptability is crucial because life is constantly changing, and those who can't adjust to change often struggle more with stress and frustration. Being able to pivot and embrace new realities helps resilient people maintain their emotional balance, even when the ground beneath them shifts unexpectedly. Another key aspect of emotional resilience is having a strong sense of purpose. People who are emotionally resilient often have a clear understanding of their values, goals, and what gives their life meaning. This sense of purpose acts as an anchor during difficult times, giving them something to hold on to when everything else feels uncertain or chaotic. Knowing what is important to them helps them maintain perspective and stay focused on what truly matters, rather than getting lost in the stress or drama of the moment. It gives them a sense of direction and motivation, which can be a powerful source of strength, in challenging times. This purpose driven approach allows them to persevere even when the road is tough because they are working towards something greater than their immediate discomfort. Resilient individuals also tend to have strong social support networks. They understand that emotional resilience doesn't mean handling everything on their own, and they aren't afraid to reach out for help when needed. They have meaningful relationships with friends, family, or mentors who provide emotional support, encouragement, and perspective. These connections act as a safety net during difficult times, helping them feel less alone and reminding them that they have people who care about them. By leaning on their support systems, they can process their emotions more effectively and gain insight or advice that helps them navigate their challenges. Social support is crucial for maintaining emotional resilience as it provides a sense of belonging and shared experience that can lighten the emotional load. An important characteristic of emotional resilience is a healthy sense of optimism. Resilient people tend to have a positive outlook on life, even in the face of adversity. This doesn't mean they ignore or minimize difficulties, but they have a belief that things can and will get better. They focus on finding solutions rather than dwelling on the problem, and they have confidence in their ability to overcome challenges. This optimistic perspective helps them stay motivated and take proactive steps to improve their situation. When setbacks occur, they don't see them as permanent or insurmountable, but rather as temporary obstacles that can be overcome with effort and persistence. This forward looking mindset allows them to keep moving forward, even when things feel difficult. Resilient people are also skilled at learning from their experiences. They reflect on their past challenges and successes to gain insight into how they can improve and grow. When they face difficulties, they don't just try to survive them, they look for the lessons they can take away from the experience. Whether it's learning how to manage stress better, improving their communication skills, or developing more patience, they use adversity as a tool for self improvement. This focus on learning and growth helps them build greater resilience over time because each challenge they overcome adds to their toolkit of coping strategies and emotional strength. With each experience, they become more capable of handling future difficulties. Another critical component of emotional resilience is self compassion. Resilient people treat themselves with kindness and understanding, especially during tough times. They don't judge themselves harshly for struggling or making mistakes. Instead, they acknowledge that difficulties are a part of life and that they are doing the best they can under the circumstances. This self compassion allows them to recover more quickly from setbacks because they aren't weighed down by feelings of guilt, shame, or self criticism. By being gentle with themselves, they create an internal environment that is supportive and nurturing, which helps them rebuild their strength and move forward more effectively. Self compassion also helps prevent burnout, as resilient people recognize the importance of taking care of their emotional well being and giving themselves time to rest and recharge when needed. Resilience is not something that people are born with, it is a skill that can be developed over time. Emotional resilience grows through practice and experience as individuals learn to navigate challenges and manage their emotions in healthy ways. It's about building mental and emotional habits that allow you to cope with life's difficulties without being overwhelmed. The more you practice resilience, the stronger it becomes, making it easier to handle future challenges with greater ease and confidence. Through developing emotional resilience, people are better equipped to handle life's inevitable setbacks, disappointments, and stresses with grace and strength, ensuring that they can not only survive adversity, but thrive in the face of it. Authentic connections are relationships characterized by genuine, sincere interactions and emotional transparency. These connections are grounded in mutual trust, respect, and a deep understanding of each other's true selves. Unlike superficial or transactional relationships, authentic connections are built on a foundation of openness and vulnerability, where individuals feel comfortable being their true selves without fear of judgment or rejection. Authentic connections is the ability to communicate honestly and openly. This means sharing your thoughts, feelings, and experiences in a way that is real and unfiltered. It involves expressing your true emotions, whether they are positive or negative, and being willing to listen and respond to others with the same level of honesty. When people communicate authentically, they create a space where both parties can be genuine, leading to deeper understanding and stronger bonds. Authentic connections also require emotional vulnerability. This involves letting go of the masks or facades that people often put up to protect themselves. Being vulnerable means showing your true self, including your fears, insecurities, and imperfections. It is about sharing parts of yourself that you might normally keep hidden and allowing others to do the same. This level of openness fosters trust and intimacy because it demonstrates that you are willing to be real with each other, even if it feels uncomfortable or risky. Vulnerability in relationships allows for a more profound and meaningful connection as it encourages people to connect on a deeper emotional level. In authentic connections, respect and empathy play crucial roles. Respect means valuing each other's opinions, feelings, and boundaries, even when there are disagreements or differences in perspective. It involves acknowledging and honoring each other's individuality and personal experiences. Empathy, on the other hand, is about understanding and sharing in the feelings of another person. It requires putting yourself in their shoes and responding with compassion and sensitivity. When respect and empathy are present, relationships become more supportive and nurturing, allowing individuals to feel understood and valued. Authentic connections also involve a shared sense of purpose or common values. When people have similar values or goals, it creates a sense of alignment and mutual understanding. This shared foundation helps to strengthen the bond between individuals because it provides a common ground upon which to build the relationship. Whether it's a shared passion, a common life experience, or similar beliefs, having something in common can deepen the connection and make it more meaningful. Authentic connections are characterized by mutual support and encouragement. In these relationships, individuals are genuinely invested in each other's well being and success. They celebrate each other's achievements and offer support during challenging times. This mutual support creates a positive and empowering dynamic where both parties feel uplifted and encouraged by the other's presence. It fosters a sense of partnership and collaboration rather than competition or rivalry. An important aspect of authentic connections is the ability to handle conflicts constructively. Differences of opinion and misunderstandings are inevitable in any relationship, but authentic connections involve addressing these issues with honesty and respect. Instead of avoiding conflicts or resorting to passive aggressive behavior, individuals in authentic connections confront problems directly and work towards resolution. They approach conflicts with a willingness to listen, understand, and find common ground, which strengthens the relationship and enhances trust. Authentic connections also thrive on consistency and reliability. Being consistent in your words and actions helps to build trust and reliability in a relationship. When people know they can count on each other, it creates a sense of security and stability. This reliability is crucial for maintaining a strong and lasting connection as it demonstrates that you are dependable and committed to the relationship. Another key element of authentic connections is mutual growth. In these relationships, individuals support each other's personal development and growth. They encourage each other to pursue their passions, achieve their goals, and become the best versions of themselves. This support for growth creates a dynamic where both parties feel inspired and motivated, and it enhances the overall quality of the connection. Authentic connections are also marked by a lack of pretense or manipulation. People in authentic relationships do not use deceitful tactics or ulterior motives to influence each other. Instead, they interact with honesty and integrity, valuing each other for who they truly are rather than for what they can provide. This authenticity helps to build a foundation of trust and credibility, making the relationship more genuine and meaningful. Authentic connections are about creating and maintaining relationships that are real, supportive, and fulfilling. They involve being true to yourself and allowing others to be true to themselves. by fostering honest communication, emotional vulnerability, respect, empathy, and mutual support. Authentic connections provide a deep and enriching experience of human connection that enhances the quality of life and promotes emotional well being. Personal growth refers to the ongoing process of self improvement and development that encompasses various aspects of an individual's life. It involves enhancing one's abilities, knowledge, and emotional well being to reach a higher state of self awareness, fulfillment, and effectiveness. Personal growth is a continuous journey of evolving and becoming a better version of oneself, and it often requires both introspection and active effort. Personal growth is about expanding one's understanding of oneself. This involves gaining insight into one's values, beliefs, strengths, weaknesses, and motivations. By reflecting on personal experiences and exploring different aspects of oneself, individuals can develop a clearer sense of who they are and what they want from life. This self awareness is crucial for making informed decisions, setting meaningful goals, and navigating life's challenges with greater clarity and purpose. Personal growth also involves developing new skills and acquiring knowledge. This could include formal education, learning new techniques, or gaining practical experience in various areas of interest. Engaging in activities that stretch one's abilities and challenge one's intellect contributes to personal development. For instance, pursuing advanced education, learning a new language, or acquiring a new professional skill are all examples of how individuals can foster their growth through the acquisition of knowledge and skills. Another important aspect of personal growth is emotional development. This involves working on emotional intelligence, which includes understanding and managing one's emotions, as well as empathizing with others. Emotional growth often requires confronting and processing past experiences, overcoming limiting beliefs, and developing healthier ways of coping with stress and adversity. It also includes improving relationships with others by enhancing communication skills, practicing empathy, and building stronger connections. Emotional growth helps individuals handle life's ups and downs with greater resilience and fosters a more positive and balanced outlook. Personal growth often involves setting and working toward goals. These goals can be related to various aspects of life, such as career aspirations, personal achievements, or lifestyle changes. Setting clear, achievable goals provides direction and motivation, and working towards them helps individuals measure their progress and stay focused. The process of setting and achieving goals also contributes to personal growth by encouraging individuals to step out of their comfort zones, take risks, and develop new habits and attitudes. Another key element of personal growth is self-discipline. Developing the ability to stay committed to one's goals and manage one's time and resources effectively is crucial for achieving personal development. Self-discipline involves making conscious choices that align with long-term objectives. Even when faced with distractions or temptations, it requires perseverance and the ability to maintain focus and effort over time, which contributes to building character and achieving desired outcomes. Personal growth is also deeply connected to exploring and embracing new experiences. Stepping outside one's comfort zone and trying new things can lead to significant personal development. Whether it's traveling to new places, engaging in new hobbies, or meeting new people, exposing oneself to different experiences can broaden perspectives, enhance creativity, and foster personal growth. These new experiences challenge existing beliefs and help individuals adapt to change, fostering a sense of adventure and curiosity about life. Personal growth often involves contributing to the well-being of others and making a positive impact on the community. Engaging in acts of kindness, volunteering, and supporting others in their growth can enrich one's own life and provide a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Helping others and being involved in community activities can lead to personal satisfaction and a deeper connection with others, enhancing the overall sense of meaning and purpose in life. Personal growth is also about developing resilience and the ability to overcome challenges. Life is full of obstacles and setbacks, and personal growth involves learning how to navigate these difficulties with grace and perseverance. Building resilience means developing coping strategies, learning from failures, and maintaining a positive attitude even in the face of adversity. Resilient individuals are better equipped to handle stress, adapt to change, and continue growing despite life's challenges. Personal growth is a holistic and ongoing process that involves enhancing self awareness, developing new skills, improving emotional intelligence, setting and achieving goals, practicing self discipline, exploring new experiences, contributing to others, and building resilience. And it is a lifelong journey of becoming a more complete, fulfilled, and effective individual, and it requires a commitment to continuous learning, self improvement, and personal development. As we conclude, it's important to recognize that personal growth, authentic connections, and emotional resilience are interconnected elements that together enrich our lives. By embracing these principles, we not only enhance our own well being, but also foster deeper, more meaningful relationships with others. Personal growth invites us to continually evolve and strive for our best selves, while authentic connections remind us of the profound impact of genuine, respectful, and empathetic relationships. Emotional resilience equips us with the strength to face life's challenges with grace and perseverance. By integrating these aspects into our lives, we create a foundation for enduring happiness and fulfillment. We learn to set healthy boundaries, nurture our self worth, and practice tough love while maintaining a commitment to personal growth and genuine connections. These elements combine to form a rich tapestry of experiences that shape who we are and how we interact with the world around us. Thank you for joining me on this journey of exploration and reflection. May you carry these insights with you, applying them to your own life to create stronger, more resilient, and more authentic connections. Good luck as you continue to grow, embrace new experiences, and cultivate meaningful relationships. Your journey towards personal growth and emotional resilience is a testament to your strength and potential. Thank you once again, and may your path be filled with success and fulfillment.